Hello there. Good morning. Today is Sunday, Sunday, and it is May 18th, 2025. And I did my morning weigh in. It is almost 7 a.m. and I have to go water and feed the cat Tootsie. But anyway, I wanted to give you a brief rundown again in case somebody's running across my videos and wondering like, why is this woman weighing herself every day making these shorts? Well, on April 1st, I decided to do that since I've always had scale anxiety where I would go to Weight Watchers in particular was my choice of weight loss over the decades to try to control like what I was eating, whether all their various plans of exchanges of points of eat until you're satisfied. And I tried them all on there, and it is a good program. But for me, it just, I don't know, maybe too much freedom of you can have a little bit of this, kind of thing. And a little bit became a lot, which in my experience is foods that I really like, there's foods that I really like that it doesn't seem like I can just eat a little bit. So by weighing in daily, it is stopping me from kind of going on those like off the rails kind of like, oh, this is good and I'm just going to eat it because it's good. It's not even that I'm hungry because I don't even really know what hungry is. I'm thinking I don't think I've ever gone like hungry. I eat and I've always had been blessed with a supply of food. If that's what it is a blessing to have, food available. And so, and I kind of think like, gosh, there's some people around the planet that they don't have that blessing and I need to, enjoy the food I have, clean your plate, kind of don't waste. But, over the decades, I knew that wasn't right. The cleaning your plate until it's finished because you're wasting food. If you're eating food and you're not hungry and you're just eating it because you don't want to waste it, then you're using your body as a garbage can, essentially. I don't want to throw it away, but, that's a waste, but I want to put it in my body. What's more important, what's in the garbage can or what's in your body? Your body is your, don't they say your body is your temple? I mean, this is the body. This is the tool I have to, live my life with. And if I get stomach aches and ate too much because I cleaned my plate, anyway. So I say this with seriousness, but joking kind of, because it is it's ludicrous. You don't want to waste food. You better eat it all. You go out to eat, you get appetizers, you get this, you get that, You don't have to eat it all. And you don't even have to take half of it home. You can just leave it if you wanted to. Yeah, it may be wasteful, but trust me, it is more wasteful and harmful to eat something that you shouldn't be eating so much of. So anyway, last night, my husband came home and he cooked something that I really, really like. He cooked, what are them things called? He cooked his bananas, but then he cooks these other things, oxtails. I never, ever, 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 ever had an oxtail until I met my husband. And then the way he cooks them, they're delicious. I mean, I'm not even or never was a big like meat kind of beef kind of steak burger eater. I mean, I like salmon and I like tuna, and I've never, I tried to be like, oh, let me try not to eat any meat and be a vegan, whatever, vegan. No, that didn't work. I've always tried to listen to how my body feels. Well, let me tell you this, ever since I've cut out the sugary treats and the gluten, because that's a whole other issue, the gluten, and having seen people who have been diagnosed with celiacs and seeing that the problems it gave them, and kind of seeing that this isn't something that just is being diagnosed with young people. There's people that are older being diagnosed with these wheat sensitivities. And I thought, I've had a little bit of problems with some stuff, but then most people don't eat a whole cake at once. So is it really a wheat sensitivity, or is it a gluttony, But anyway, I just decided just stop. You don't have to have your sourdough toast with avocado. You can have the avocado with a baked potato. There's various ways. And now with the price of a loaf of bread, what you can do with like brown rice and potatoes and just the abundance of vegetables, I have found a love for cauliflower, cauliflower. And I'm even eating broccoli. This is unheard of. Just, broccoli. I'm starting to, like, I used to eat it because it was like, okay, broccoli is good for me. I find if I cut it up real small and cook it, it doesn't bother me as much. It's when it's in its big, like looking like a big tree bush. I don't know. And then cutting it from that. But if I cut it in little pieces and I cook it, it's good. I mean, it's not like cake or cookies or ding-dongs or ho-hos. And yeah, my eyes are still looking like they're watering when I say those. But I haven't had those. And I have passed up. My husband brought in, because I'm not trying to control his eating. He, when I met him, he didn't like sugary stuff. I don't know. I think I rubbed off on him. He has brought in now 24 donuts. This is since April 1st. 24 donuts have come in this house. 4, 8, 12, 16 slices of little cakes have come in this house. Anything else I miss? Other stuff he might be hiding, but it has come through. Oh, there's ice cream, but I brought that because I had the Mother's Day thing and I bought some strawberry ice cream to go with the cake that was being brought, that I didn't touch any of it. And then I left it over at this other refrigerator I visit once in a while and put stuff in. I have another place that's mine and we're here with my mom helping her out. And I put the ice cream in there, a big tub of strawberry ice cream, but I brought a little bit for her freezer because my husband has this refrigerator is stuffed with food. There's abundant food in this house. I can go walk 20 steps and get a piece of cake. I can go in the refrigerator and get those oxtails. But I haven't even eaten breakfast yet. And I still got to go take, care of stuff. And I'm not having oxtails for breakfast, but because I knew that I have made this commitment to myself that I am going to weigh in every morning. I knew that last night when he was done cooking them, I had a taste for those oxtails and those bananas he makes. It's matoke. It's a Ugandan dish. Oh my gosh. I thought I'd really like it. I would really like to taste it. And I thought, nope. You can have it tomorrow. It can be incorporated with what you're deciding is the right amount to eat tomorrow. And trust me, I am not restricting my calories too low. My weight loss is really slow. You really shouldn't lose more than 1% of your body weight in a week, unless you're just starting and, you get that like I used to do, you have your last supper and maybe your last supper of a month every month. And finally you decide this is the Monday or this is the Sunday, or it's great when the Sunday is the first of the week or a Monday is the first and it's the first of a month. You can, whenever you decide to start. So you take that start and you eat all you can the day before. And then you start your process of trying to lose weight. But then you get it in your head, well, I need a cheat day. That's what I eliminated. I do not have a cheat day. I am not cheating. The only one I'm cheating on this cheat day is myself. And I have found that by not, quote unquote, cheating, and I'm talking about my cheat days were like, today's my day off. Let's hit everything that could be awful for you. Literally, let's go get this food and that food. And this is my cheat day. And then I'll jump back on track. And for 6 days, eat really, really well and restrict it. All it did was make me on those restricted days feel really like unsatisfied. I haven't had this time. I said, no more cheat days. I had never done that. Just so you know, I had never done that. In the 80s, the 90s, 2000s, 2010s, and now into 2020, starting April 1st, 2025, I have not had a cheat day. And I knew that early on when Mother's Day, not Mother's Day, Easter hit, and some of my family was going to a restaurant, and I made a video about it, that I knew I wasn't yet at the mindset to be able to handle going to a restaurant. And then my cousin said there was all these pastries there and all that. And it would have just been another day like, well, today's Easter. Easter only comes once a year, and I should be able to have, a 10-inch plate full of pastries. I deserve it. No. You know what Laura deserves? To give her body nutritious food that doesn't trigger her to eat just all day long. It's almost like if I have eaten kind of the wrong breakfast for me, the rest of the day I'm hungry. Does anybody out there relate to this? I know there has to. I feel something that really works for me. This is working and I'm not suffering. I am not suffering. And so I just want to tell people, like, maybe it's something you might want to try. I don't know. I'm not suffering with it. Do I have a longing sometimes and thinking, missing, gosh, when I'm standing in line, there's a lot of stuff that's a lot of habit, but it's also the brain is very powerful and wanting sugar, and especially if you go to a store hungry. Do not go grocery shopping hungry. Don't do it. If that's a problem. Because for me, it's like, grab the candy bar. I'll be the one you'll see eating a Snickers bar in a store, but I maintain the little paper so they can scan it, or I get a second one and say, charge me for two, because of course I can have the second one later because I've already blown it. That type of mentality is very, it leads to failure in keeping weight off. I have found, or I know, or I feel. I don't know how this is going to go. I just know that there's people out there doing all kinds of things to lose weight. And they struggle, and then it creeps back up, whether it is physically changing their digestive system in the past, stapling things, doing stuff, taking diet pills, laxatives, vomiting what they're eating, or whatever they're doing, trying to control their weight. That is not me and will not be me. I want to lose weight without having to change anything by, I want to do it by the behavior that I'm taking and changing my brain and working on my brain. Like, I don't need this, and keep telling myself, I don't need this. The same way that I never became like a heavy drinker. I don't drink. The same way that I'm not a smoker or didn't use drugs. The same thing that, no, it's not good for you to do this. And I know that. I know when I was around people that were using illicit drugs that were not good for them, and I had every opportunity I could have went down that path, but I knew this is not good for you. And I've taken nutrition classes. We all know, those people who love food, we all know foods we should eat and not eat. We know. Nobody needs to be told, I never needed to be told, Laura, why do you eat dessert first? That's a lot of calories. I know. I love the dessert first. I'm a person that loved dessert first, because what if I'm too full to have dessert after I eat my meal? That is kind of broken thinking if you want to stay at a healthy weight. So anyway, I'm getting closer from being obese, according to the BMI, to overweight. However, I feel this is really unfair that I'm obese, because really, obesity based on BMI, it doesn't take into look your bone mass, your muscle mass, and all that. And I probably have quite a bit of muscle holding up this weight. No, I have really strong legs. No. Anyway, my feet are too small for the weight. But seriously, so let me show you. Let me flip it. So here it is, my little documentation. My start weight was, those are my two scales, and my start weight was 191.4 on one scale, 190.4 on another scale. But in all fairness, the start weight started April 1st. I had really started dropping weight before that, but wasn't documenting it. So I would say my start weight actually, in all honesty, since January 1st, probably the heaviest I was 199, close to 200, because I didn't want to go to my physical appointment in March and have the scale show 200. And here it was showing like it was getting really close to it. And I knew when I go over to the hospital to weigh in, I can't sit there and wear the little shorts and shirt that I wear and the socks and all that. You got to go with kind of like clothes on. But yeah, so the red is when it's going down, the yellow is when it's the same, and the arrows going up is when it's fluctuating up. And I started here with this. Hold on a minute. Oh, okay. So you can see, just what's going on, that each scale has its own mind. I don't really understand which one's going to go up or down. It varies. I think it's like diversity, kind of thing. It's got its own little thing. Um, yeah, so that's that. Anyway, so you're still there. Bye bye.